And welcome back to the Hot Lap. We're asking, is Carlos Sainz playing a dangerous game, waiting out for other teams until he commits, what we believe, to Audi? So Carlos Sainz, this is kind of inspired from an article on planetf1.com where they've also suggested that he's playing a dangerous game of poker, and reporting on that, with Audi reportedly giving him until Monaco to commit. But he wants to wait on Max Verstappen's Mercedes decision. And as we know, Carlos was dropped even before the first race for a certain Sir Lewis Hamilton. And many believed he's going to find his home at Sauber, which is going to be rebranded to Audi in 2026. Meaning if he does sign, both current Sauber drivers, Zhou Guanyu and Valtteri Bottas, won't be having a drive there. And they may well be out of Formula 1. But anyway, I digress. So Mercedes, they want to remain flexible for Max Verstappen, or indeed Kimi Antonelli, who's currently testing. Kimi Antonelli, though, has also been closely linked with a seat at Williams. But as we know, one thing we do know, Lewis Hamilton is off to Ferrari, leaving that seat open at Mercedes. And the Spaniard is said to be risking it all on the possibility of joining George Russell at the Brackley squad. So much so that respected Spanish journalist Antonio Lobato took to social media to claim that Sainz has missed a deadline with Audi in the hope of securing a more competitive seat. Sainz since has denied this, telling the media in Miami, no, that's not correct, there's no truth about it. As I've said before, there are certain things that don't depend fully on myself, and there's going to be some waiting to be done. And one of those things a lot of people are claiming, including F1Insider.com, is a certain soon-to-be four-time champion Max Verstappen. Now, publicly courted by Toto Wolff, to the point where some people have felt almost sickeningly ill, but there we go, the Red Bull driver, he may not be heading to Mercedes next season, but he could make the move in 2026, and therein lies Carlos Sainz hold up. The catch, as F1 Insider has put it, is that Toto Wolff is only offering him an option. Remember, Lewis had that option for after 2025. So effectively, a one-year contract. Kind of like Lewis from 24 to 25. He was like, see you later, Toto. I'm off to Ferrari. And then the Stuttgart team, the reason why, they want to remain flexible if Max Verstappen decides to say goodbye to Red Bull. Or if Kimi Antonelli is indeed ready for that Mercedes seat in 2026. Sainz, therefore, he's going to have to decide between a guaranteed season at Mercedes or a long-term future with Audi. Mercedes have options, obviously, to replace them. So what we all thought was a market for Sainz where he could almost choose where he goes, because he's also been linked to the Red Bull seat as well. There is a scenario, and I don't think it's going to happen, but there is a certain scenario that plays out where Carlos Sainz might not even have a drive for 2025. Bear in mind, he's won 2 Grand Prix. He's the only Ferrari driver to do so in the last 2 years, in 23 and 24. Yes, he's been beaten by Leclerc the last couple of years, but it's been really, really close. And a lot of people have suggested that Carlos Sainz has been so on point this year that hiring Lewis Hamilton may have been a mistake. Only time will tell, but it does appear now that maybe, at least for the last race, in terms of being comfortable with the car, Charles Leclerc may well finally have the upper hand, but we go to Imola, that could very well turn around. Now, we know Ferrari have upgrades in Imola, and Sainz is now racing, I think, but 90% of him is racing for Carlos Sainz, and absolutely why not? This guy's currently unemployed. So we know Hülkenberg has the other seat in the Audi F1 team. What other drivers could Audi hire? Well, Esteban Ocon, potentially one. Bottas, maybe. I doubt Zhou Guanyu. I think Bottas is a fairly long shot, if I'm honest. Gasly, maybe another one. Maybe someone from Formula 2, and they've got Hülkenberg, so they've got their solid drive. They just want to be their superstar driver, which many believe Carlos Sainz would be. He'd almost be treated like royalty there. But he is waiting for a one-year deal at Mercedes. Now, the issue is that Mercedes going to be any good in 2025? I imagine if he does go to Mercedes, is Carlos going to rely on being so good and outplaying George Russell so much that they decide to pick him? But George Russell, this guy is a F2 champion. The F2 champion that beat Lando Norris to the F2 title. He's going to be no slouch, and he knows Mercedes better than Carlos Sainz does. And he has on many occasions worried a certain Lewis Hamilton. So I think if Carlos was going into Mercedes to, trounce George Russell, it's absolutely great if he's got that confidence to do so. I don't think he will, though. I think George Russell may just come out on top in that fight because he is quite good. He is quite handy. I think he's massively underrated by a lot of the press. But yeah, I do think he's good. Is George Russell a team leader? Only time will tell. But in terms of pace, he's definitely got it. I think if Max Verstappen would go to Mercedes, yeah, maybe Max would win. But I do think George Russell would worry him at times, and he would be, I think, since the days maybe of Daniel Ricciardo, even including Ricciardo, the toughest guy that Max Verstappen has gone up against in equal machinery. So I'm hearing less and less of him going to Red Bull. But I guess, once again, only time will tell. It looks like Daniel Ricciardo probably won't. Tsunoda probably won't. But as Marty Walker says, if is F1 spelled backwards. So this is just conjecture. But anyway, Carlos Sainz, he absolutely is, I think, if this report is to be true, playing a risky game. Why hasn't he signed for Audi yet? Because Audi clearly want him. And I think if he wanted to sign for Audi, I feel... and it may be wrong, but because they've already signed Hülkenberg. So they would have done it by now. The deal would have been done if he wanted to go to Audi. So I do think it's clear that he's holding out. The evidence suggests, that he's holding out. I guess, only as I keep saying, only time will tell. Anyway, this has just been a quick video. Once again, thank you for 1,000 subscribers. Absolutely fantastic. Really, really appreciate that. Massive thumbs up to you guys. If you made it to the end, please give us a subscribe. That will be really, really cool. Just watching this video, for me, is absolutely enough. And the others are just the icing on the cake. So if you made it to the end and you subscribe, in our eyes, you're a multiple world champion. This has been the Hot Lap. Stay tuned. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon.